In this video, let's see a communication from integration procedure to DataRaptor post. There are few approaches to pass data from IP to DR post. Let's see one by one. The first approach is by default. It means through input parameter section of integration procedure. Let's see use case for this. I created one new IP, and as I need to show DataRaptor post, so taking DRP post action, let me rename this. For example, I can say update contact, and this is a step name. And here I'm using one existing DataRaptor post where I'm updating the contact details. So let me open it. As here I want to update contact details, so I selected object here contact, then go to preview. JSON is like this, last name variable and phone variable. I want to update the phone. In the field I map last name and phone. I'm doing here upsert, so selected the upsert, and let's try this. Change the phone, execute. It's working successfully. Its name of the contact is sample contact. Initially the sample contact having phone is 61154. Now we updated to 4444. Let's verify whether DR post is working or not. It's working. Now we need to call this DataRaptor post in the IP. If you have any doubt here in this DataRaptor post, how to develop and how to do the field mapping and everything, you can watch my previous video, link is given above. Now let's see how we can call this DataRaptor post in the integration procedure. Configure the name of the DataRaptor post in this DRP action, and I'm not passing any input from this action. Let me take response action as well to see the output of this step. Copy the step name or element name and the response action in JSON path, paste it. In the preview section, I'm adding some input here. For example, this DataRaptor post expect input in this format. I'm copying this, or we can take one by one as well. The first parameter is last name where I want to update the sample contact, so taking the same name. Another one is a phone where I want to update the phone where with some value, for example like this. And all these last name where phone where is mapped with the object field like last name and phone. Let's go back to IP. So what I did here, I only drag and drop post action, configured the name of the DataRaptor post, no other change in this action. I only added similar kind of input what DataRaptor post expect, like here. Now let's execute. It's showing upsert success true. It means DataRaptor post is executed successfully. Let's see here. Initially we have 4444 as a phone number of the sample contact. Now we have updated to some value. Let's check. Yeah, it's working fine. So this is the first way how to pass input to DataRaptor post. And here we are using a common section of IP, that is the input parameters. Whatever we type here, everything will get passed to DataRaptor post. Let me show you debug log as well. Here this is a debug log of DataRaptor post. Open it. If you see in the input section, last name where is getting passed, options and phone where. If we type here any other parameter like I have explained in my previous video, that also will get passed here even though it's not required. Let me execute. Upsert will work, but I want to show you extra parameter is also getting passed. This is the DataRaptor post debug where passing last name where, test, phone where. Test is not required, but as I mentioned, whatever you mention here in the input parameter section, all will get passed from IP to DR. Also, if there are any steps above this step name, means I mean to say this is the step number 1 in this IP, but before this step, if any other steps are executed, output of those steps will also get passed here in this DataRaptor post, and that's a by default passing of data from IP to call component. I have also mentioned all those things in my previous video with some examples. So this is the first way how to pass input to the DataRaptor post. Now let's see the second way with the help of send response transformation. Let me remove this, and I want to pass this information DataRaptor post with the help of this send response transformation, send JSON path. What I will do here, for example, I'm not able to edit here, so this is the expected and sometime behavior in the integration procedure. Save everything and do the refresh, and once you refresh it, let's try whether I can edit or not. Now I can. What I'm doing here, I'm taking here one parent node input and do like this. It means in the input parameters, input is the parent node, under that last name where and phone where are the nodes which we want to pass to this DataRaptor post, because DataRaptor post expect input in this format, I mean to say last name where and phone where. Then I can copy this input in the properties of DataRaptor post. I can mention in the send response transformation in the send JSON path. What the send JSON path says, I'm calling this DataRaptor post. Along with this, I'm passing this node. I'm passing this node, it means whatever is under this node, that is whatever this complete block, whatever under this input node will get passed to this DataRaptor post. If we read here also, it's clearly mentioned to trim the request, specify one node of data to send in the outgoing request. Now if I execute, let me change the phone value, execute, upset success true, and we can also verify this 1 replaced by 2. It's working fine. Let me show you debug log of this step. You can see the change here. Previously we were passing everything, options, all the parameters in the input section plus output of the previous steps if it is there. Now we are only passing all the input section, no, whatever is under this node. If you give here another node, for example test, and I can see here not required, then will this get passed? No, we are only passing input. I can show you like this also. Test, it will not get passed, we are passing only the input node. Let me show you that as well. Debug log, see, whatever is under this input node will get passed, that is the last name where and phone where, and is also working fine and up success true, and we can see the change here. This is the second way that you can pass input to DataRaptor post. Now third approach, in the additional input, the same what I have explained in the last video when we are passing data to DataRaptor extract. Let me show you here. First of all, remove this input, and here you can see additional input output response. Here you can check send only additional input if you want to send. That depends on the requirement. If you don't want to send only additional input, you can remove this. Below that you can add here key value pair. Now what's a key value pair? For example, DataRaptor post expect last name variable. So what DRP expect? Take that key. I'm calling this DRP along with this key. But what's the value of this key? That we can check here. So last name where alone also you can pass. Let me remove this unnecessary part. You can take this last name where, copy it, and we can pass it here. But is this a right way? No, because last name where is under the node input. So I can copy input as well. Go here, Control V, and like this you can say equals to. If last name where is independently here, you can remove the input and you can pass that as well. Okay, the second is phone where, copy this key, again go back to properties, add one more key value. In the function what you will pass? The same thing, phone where, but that is phone where, is this right? No, phone where is under the node input. So copy input and add like this. You can add here equals to, or you can simply click on the function. Okay, it means what? You're calling this DataRaptor post, passing these two keys along with its value. Sometime previously we may need to add here percentage. Nowadays it's not required. If this is not working, you can add the percentage and you can try. Let me try now. Let's change some phone value, execute. It's showing true. Let's check here. This should get changed. It's getting changed. Let me show you debug response as well. In the input section, what's getting? Last name where is getting passed, sample contact. Options is also getting passed, phone where, and input as well. Now we will say why so many things are getting passed. As I mentioned, as we are passing only additional input and I have not selected this box. Hence, if I don't select this, IP will pass all the input from this input parameter section by default, plus options, plus if any output of the previous step which are executed. Now this depends on the requirement, whether you want to send only these two parameters or you want to send output of previous step as well. Sometime in the project we may also need to send part of the output of previous steps. Then in that case you can follow this approach. If you want to send only these two keys, select this checkbox and let's execute. Let me change some phone value. Now you can see the change here. You won't see this option, you won't see this input. You can see here only two parameters. Execute. It's working fine. Phone value should be updated. It's getting updated. Let me show you debug. As I mentioned, you can see only two things. If in case your input parameters name are changed, like here I'm mentioning only name. For example, instead of this phone where I'm mentioning here contact, then how to do this? And this is also not under the input node. This is completely independent. Then will this work? Yeah, this will also work, but we need to pass it accordingly. For example, conceptually, I'm calling this DataRaptor post. This DataRaptor post expect to input last name where, phone where. From where we have taken this, go to DRP, check the input JSON. This DRP expect to input in the variable last name where and the phone where. Same variable name I have to take in the key section. If I am passing last name where, what's the value of that? Value I am taking from the input section. I want to pass this name value to this last name where. So I am taking this here name. Also, I want to update this contact to phone value of the contact object. So I am removing this, passing it. It's clearly indication that I want to change the contact number, but in the object field, what's the field name? Sorry, in the object contact, what's the field name which hold the contact? That's a phone where. In fact, it's also not phone where, but in the DRP input, we have taken the phone where which is getting mapped to phone field. Hence, the mappings are like this. It's all about the mapping. If you see here how the mapping is getting done. For example, 444 is a contact number associated with the contact. This contact is getting mapped to phone where along with this DRP outgoing request, and this phone where is getting mapped to phone field of the contact object. So this way we are passing data from integration procedure input section to integration procedure outgoing request, and from this outgoing request to DRP field mapping. Now let's execute. We have not changed any phone value. Let's change it so that we can check whether it's working or not. Upsert success true. Let's see here. Yeah, it's working. It's updating data. Let me show you debug log. That's important. Yeah, last name variable phone where. If you observe here, what name and contact you have given here, it's nowhere in the debug log. It means only values are getting passed. In this way, you can pass data from integration procedure to DataRaptor post. And this is the third way. Based on this discussion, you can try for this interview question. First 3 questions are straightforward. You can try for the 4th question. Try to comment your answer of if you have any query, let me know in the comment section. In the next video, we will see similar kind of communication from integration procedure to DataRaptor transform. Thank you for watching.